Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to another tier list. I'm Black Templar, and this time around, we're going to be talking about a continuous season with the draft rules. Now, what is a continuous season slash draft rules? Let me start with the continuous season. Continuous season is basically you play a league and it continues on and your team doesn't leave or change. However, with the draft system, that changes it. Now, this is an optional thing, but I think it's a good thing. Now, what is the draft system? At the end of the season, you have to buy back the players you've used. But they do get expensive. Say, for example, you've got a player that is 150,000. Well, that player goes up to 160,000. And every season that player has played, he gets more and more expensive. So 10, 20, 40, it goes up, doubles every time it's used. So players can be removed. Now, you are given a 1.3 million to play with, but you do have to buy back all those players, and they will cost. Also, the good news is your rerolls, your staff don't leave. They're staying put. It's only the players that are questionable. Now, the way we're going to work this is we're going to go a 5-season stretch. That they've been around for 5 seasons, and how well will they do in a continuous league for roughly 5 seasons. So now that you're aware how this works and the rules, let's start with Amazons. Balance. Now, it's no joke or secret, guys, that most of the Amazons, especially the Jaguar Blitzers and the throwers and all them, will be the ones to be staying for most of the matches. However, by roughly, I would say, the 5th season, only one of the first team members will still be there. Remember, all the players get expensive. So this is where skill management will come into play. So say, for example, you've got a player who's got like 3-4 skills and they've become ludicrously expensive. And you can't afford them. You're going to have to leave them. By the 5th season rolls around, this is where the Amazons will be somewhat balanced, but also a bit weaker. So it's one of those, yeah. Like in the 3rd season, when I think that's when they peak, they become a good team, but then they go crashing down because they've got to replace all the players, keep as many as they can, which 9 out of 10, there'll be like 1 or maybe 2, but the rest will not be strong enough to carry. It'll take a while to get back up. Blackhawks. Now, Blackhawks are an interesting set. On the one hand, their Blackhawks will get stronger. And the Goblins get weaker. Now, you could just give it the Goblins, put new Goblin sets, but you might want to keep one Goblin, your ball handling Goblin, alive. The rest you might get rid of. The Troll, you'll probably get rid of him. And the Blackhawks, you'll try and keep. But unfortunately, as I've stated before with the Blackhawks, they're going to get more and more expensive. Now, the good news is, your Goblins are cheap, but they will go above average because of that reason. The Goblins are cheap. And the Blackhawks, you're going to have a longer run with them, guys. If you only give them like 2 skills, like say block and mighty blow or block and tackle, they're going to stick around for a very long time. They're not going to go down. But the downside to them is once they lose their Blackhawks, you'll start losing Blackhawks probably in the 3rd season, where you'll probably lose like out of the 6, you're probably going to lose 3 of them just to pay up for the others, for your best ones. So, yeah, it's one of those things where they do get stronger, and they can still get stronger, just change of guard. Chaos Dwarves, above average. Now, let's be clear. You don't care about the Hobgoblins. They're cheap. You can just easily replace them. The Chaos Dwarves, you're more likely going to keep at least 2. 2 skilled ones. One with block and mighty, with guard and mighty blow. 2 of them pieces. They're just going to fill the rest of the void. The Bull Centaurs, you're probably going to keep at least a ball handling one and a block or a killer one. And this is a team that could last all 5 seasons without an issue. They're not cream of the crop because, like I said, they'll probably have to give it a lot of players, but they're still going to be an absolute nightmare team to deal with. Renegades. Now, this is where things get a bit messy. Yeah. Now, why? First off, the big guys. You could not sell them back, but the problem is if you've got a big guy who is a powerhouse, you don't want to lose him. But they're still going to cost you nearly close to 500 just to even get them on the pitch. So 9-10, you're going to lose the pair of them and just have two newbies. The rest of the team, you're probably going to try and get rid of, and then you're going to probably keep the Dark Elf one, who's going to be your main ball handler. However, your skill set takes a horrific hammering. So this is where they hemorrhage a bit and they do get a little weaker. Doesn't say they're weak, it's just that they will be weakened for a period of time before they get back up to their strength. Chaos. Balance. Now, let's be clear. The Beastmen, you're going to get rid of all bar 2 Beastmen. A killer role and a ball handler. The Chaos Warriors, you're probably going to keep 2 as well. The killers. And the other 2, you're just replacement. Minotaur, unless it's an absolute monster, you're just going to get rid of a new one. So, and to be honest, you can hold this team for 4 seasons, and probably the 5th season you'll have to get rid of the first generation because, they're going to be costing way too much for you to keep. You might keep 1, which will probably be the ball handling one, but other than that, the rest of the team will just be, you got a Dixie good piece, but the rest of the team, they're not up to snuff. Dark Elves. Balance. Now, let's be clear. You have to level up the blitzers. And they're going to be roughly about 120k if you're going for 2 skills, 330. But by the time you reach season 3, most of that team's gone. You probably keep 1, maybe 2 pieces, but the rest will be there. And to be honest, they will not be strong. They'll be still a great team, but they won't be as powerful as they once were. Dwarves. Again, same as the Chaos Dwarves. 2 dwarf linemen with block, with tackle and with mighty blow and guard will be there, and your runner will be there. The rest is easy trade off, and even without them, they're still powerful. This is where they will shine. Goblins. I know what you're thinking. Wait, they're balanced? How are they balanced? They could go 5 seasons with that team. All they need is the 2 trolls and 2 goblins with ball skills. That's it. The rest, just chaff. Just, all right, they're gone. And the weapons, go. But a new set and a bigger roster. So, yeah. Goblins can survive well in this. It just means that they're going to have to be sure they don't get killed. But with all the other teams weakening, that could be an issue. Halflings. Again, balance. You're going to keep the treeman, the thrower, and 1 good ball handling piece. The rest you're just going to get rid of and just get a bloated roster. High Elves. Balance. Come on, you all know it's the same thing as the Dark Elves. Because the high cost, they're going to lose these guys probably in the 2nd or 3rd season. We'll have 2 great pieces, but the rest of the team is not up to snuff, and they'll get killed. Humans. Unfortunately with the humans, balance. Now, yes, the linemen you're not going to care about, but the blitzers, the catchers, thrower, you're really going to care. And by the 3rd season, when they're nearly 80k on top, 80 to 40k on top of what they are already got, they're going to be too expensive to keep. You might keep at least 1 or 3 to 5th season, but the rest of the team will suffer. Pure ability. Balance. In 9-10, you're going to keep the thrower and probably the 2 blockers or bodyguards. You probably keep either one. But the rest of the team will struggle. You don't really care about the peasants because you can quickly just replace them. Yoga, replace. But the rest, that will weaken the team. So it's like a kind of a Khemri. Yep. Tomb Guardians, you don't care. Unless you've got... Actually, no, sorry. You might keep 2 Tomb Guardians that are like powerhouses. The other 2 will just be there and build back up. The thrower you're going to keep. If it's a strong thrower with like unique skills, you'll keep it. Or you might keep a couple of Brit throwers who have gotten powerful. But the rest of the team, yeah, that's where they're weak at. Khorne. Balance. Now, you're not going to keep the lower Gribblies. You're going to keep probably the 2 Khornagors and probably 2, Chaos Warriors. And the rest you just replace. That's all you need. It'll still be a decent team. Lizardmen. Now, this is interesting. They are below average. Shocker, isn't it? But here's the reason. The cost of the Samurai is very expensive. 110 plus the 2 skills you need to make them decent. They're going to get more expensive. Remember, this is from a 5-season period. You're not going to keep a skink who's going to be your best ball handler. He's going to be the only one you're going to keep. But the rest of the team will start getting weaker. And I know some people say, well, the Samurai are still good. They are. But remember what I said about the Black Orcs? They can be easily replaced. The Lizardmen, on the other hand, it's a different story. They need the skinks to be fast and durable to do the ball work because they can't do it. You'll probably end up with probably 1 decent Samurai, but the rest will be questionable. So they will be tremendously weakened. Necromantic. Balanced. Now, let's be clear. You're going to get rid of the Flesh Golem, you're going to get rid of the Zombos, and probably the Ghouls. The Ghosts and the Werewolves are your main players, but you're more likely going to lose a Werewolf. Out of 2 werewolves, you're going to lose 1. Probably in the 3rd season. Ghosts, you'll probably lose them in the 3rd season. You're probably just going to have 1 werewolf, but you're still going to have a decent team. That's doable, hard to do. And also, like, sturdy. Norse. Back up the balance. Why? Well, the linemen, you don't care. The berserkers, the Yeti, you don't care. The pig, you're not going to bother with him. The only thing you're going to keep really is the Valkyrie. And the Valkyrie can be easily just brought back every season. The Valkyrie would stay throughout the 5 seasons as long as it doesn't been killed or damaged. I mean, even the the Blitzer could stay. So this team is still sturdy as long as the Valkyrie's there, along with a couple of good players. That's it. Nurgle. Balanced. Now let's be clear. The Beast of Nurgle, the Rotters, and probably a couple of the bloody guys, you don't really care. The Pestigors, you're probably going to keep 2. Your best 2, they're going to go through the seasons. While the rest of the team, still powerful, still decent. It's just you're going to lose a bit of oomph. But as long as you've got 2 Pestigors who are good at ball handling and can handle themselves, you should be all right. Ogres. Balanced. Now let's be clear. The Snotlings, you don't care. You utterly don't care about them. The Ogres themselves, they're going to go around all the way to probably to the 5th season where you might have to sell them. Get rid of them. But by that point, you could be in a good position with the Ogres. Because, I mean, let's be clear. You go through the first season, you're still going to buy those ogres back. And in 9 of the ogres, you're not going to upgrade their skills. Not one bit. You could literally go 5 seasons without them upgrading 1 iota. And could just say, right, you may give it 1, say, well, I need 1 with block. Need a couple of them blocks. That's the only thing you would have to pay. And don't forget, like, ogres are not as expensive as you think. Because, let me get them out for a second. Here they are, ogres. I mean, let's be honest. A normal ogre is practically costing you 140,000, right? You can go around nearly 4 seasons, and you don't have to even upgrade them. Remember, it's 10,000, then 20,000. I mean, you could literally just go, right, I'll just, like, the 4th season, I could pay them all, bring all the snotlings in. I mean, yes, the 5th season, you're going to have to get rid of them, but you've made your value out of them. And if any of them die, oh, well, I could keep them for another season. So, ogres, balanced. Orcs. Let's be clear, guys. You're going to just keep the blitzers. That's all you're going to keep. Everyone else, sling. Because the blitzers are going to be your best killers, ball handlers, and runners. The rest, you're just going to sling. What more do you need to know? Oh, the Lions? Yep. Because of the fact that, some of their players they're going to have to get rid of, and any of the good ones to keep, the rest of the team will not able to keep up. So, yeah. They kind of struggle. Pro Elves. Same as any other elf team. They've got some of their best pieces are quite expensive, and you need to skill them a little bit just to keep them afloat. But by the time you reach the 3rd season, you're likely going to be getting rid of them. More likely getting rid of them to replace them. You might keep 1 or 2 all the way to the 5th season, but they will cost an arm and a leg to keep. So, yeah. Skaven. Shocker. Why are they above average? The gutter runners. You're going to keep them, and everyone else you're just going to bin. But if you've got a very fast, powerful gutter runner who's just going to go, right, I have movement like 11. I'm going to bomb down that field. You're not going to catch me. Or I've got like block, dodge, and all that jazz. Yes, they're going to be expensive. But let's be honest. Your normal Ratman, cheapest chips. You won't need a thrower at that point. You just need a blitzer just to hold the line. And remember, you get 1.3 million instead of the 1 million after each season. So you've got a chance to buy, say I buy all 4 of my gutter runners and they're about like 200 each. That's 800. Yeah, I could just buy the rest. It's just chaff. Yeah. So I got 500 left to bring chaff. Remember, you don't pay for the doctors or any of them. They're already there. It's just the players. Snotlings. Shocker. Why? Well, 1, you don't care about the Snotlings. They're dead. They're just chaff. You just get rid of them. But the fact is, you want to keep the trolls and the pump wagons when they get stronger. And the trolls and pump wagons are not that expensive, to be honest. They're not. They are not expensive as you think. Let me get the book. Right. Snotling pump wagon. 105. Snotling trolls. 115. And remember, the trolls, you don't have to level them up. Just give them 1 skill like block, and then, okay, they're going to be fine for the next, few seasons. Same with the pump wagon. Just give them 1 skill, which is 9 10 block, and there you go. You can block and you're laughing. Now, I mean, you could go with the Slanty Runner or the Fun Hopper, but to be honest, they're just cheap chaff you can quickly replace. And plus the fact you can still get your hands on all the star players. I mean, buy probably like the 5th season, you've got ridiculously powerful trolls, pump wagons, and access to ludicrous star players. People like Branchwood and all them. He will be a nasty army to beat. Undead. Balance. Now, you're going to keep the Rights and the Ghouls if they do well, or a mummy that is ridiculously powerful. Other than that, the rest of the team, you're just going to sling. Zombies get cheap to replace. There'll always still be a good team. Underworld. Yep, they're back up there because of simple reasons. You're going to keep the Gutter Runner, you're going to keep the Thrower, and the Troll. Everyone else, cheap fodder. What do I say? If you've got a very powerful throwing piece and a powerful Gutter Runner and a good Troll, you're just going to do some serious work. Vampires. Shocked? Shouldn't be. Remember, the vampires are expensive to begin with, and plus the fact they need a few skills to make them sturdy. By the 3rd season, you're going to lose a lot of your vampires. I mean, the thralls you don't care. But the vampires, you will care, because a good vampire that would have certain skills to make them so hard to deal with, it's going to cost you nearly close to 200 to 300 per one. Remember, it goes up and doubles. So like I said, from 10,000 to 20,000 to 40,000 to 85,000. It does go up. So, and under the rules, your starting team must be 11 strong. No exceptions. So, you're going to probably keep one vampire, but the rest of your team will not be as strong as they once were. So, they'll go down to below average. Remember, this is through a 5-season period. What else? Balance. Obvious reason, guys. Like any elf team, the cost of some of their players and to get the skills to make them even half decent is going to chew them. On alignment, you don't care. The treatment, you could probably get rid of. But if you have a strong, like, couple of war dancers, a strong thrower, and a strong pass piece, you're going to try and keep them. But I believe by the 3rd season, that's when you're going to start to see one of them go, or maybe 2, just to make up the numbers. So, yeah, it can hurt to a degree. And that's it for this video, guys. What do you think? Do you agree with this? Do you believe this is way it could happen? Or do you believe another way could happen? Who do you think should be higher up or lower? But folks, that's this video. If you like the video, please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the bell. And on the next and final Blood Bowl free tier list, we're going to talk about the 7s. And oh boy, do they change a lot of things. Anyhow, I'll catch you later.